A steady hand, the legacy of George H.W. Bush. The year is 1989. The Berlin Wall crumbles. The Soviet Union teeters on the brink. A new world order emerges from the Cold War's end. At the helm of the United States, George H.W. Bush guides the ship of state. Bush's presidency, often overshadowed, stands as a testament to experience and pragmatism. His legacy, intertwined with the Cold War's end, continues to shape American foreign policy. Bush's life of public service brought unmatched experience to the presidency. Welcome to Enchanting Lore, where we delve into the fascinating stories that have shaped our world. George Herbert Walker Bush, born into privilege, chose a path of service. His journey from World War II battlefields to the presidency reflects his duty and patriotism. Bush's early life was marked by hard work and commitment to larger causes. After Phillips Academy, he deferred Yale to enlist in the Navy during World War II. As a Navy pilot, he flew 58 combat missions, earning the Distinguished Flying Cross. His wartime experiences shaped his worldview and leadership approach. The architects of American power, Bush's foreign policy brain trust. George H.W. Bush surrounded himself with seasoned diplomats and strategic thinkers. Led by Secretary of State James Baker and National Security Advisor Brent Scowcroft, this team brought decades of experience. Baker, a master negotiator, and Scowcroft, a strategic thinker, provided invaluable counsel. Their complementary skills guided Bush through the end of the Cold War. Together, they navigated the turbulent waters of global politics. Turning the page, the end of the Cold War and a new world order. The Berlin Wall falls, the Soviet Union crumbles, the Cold War ends. These monumental events marked a significant turning point in world history, symbolizing the end of decades of tension and division between the East and the West. As the 41st President of the United States, Bush found himself at the helm during one of the most transformative periods in modern history. His leadership was crucial in navigating the complexities of this new global landscape. He recognized the historic opportunity for peace but remained wary of potential chaos. Bush's administration was keenly aware of the risks involved in the power vacuum left by the Soviet Union's collapse. His strategic foresight was instrumental in preventing widespread instability. His ability to engage with Soviet leader Mikhail Gorbachev was pivotal. Their relationship was built on mutual respect and a shared vision for a peaceful future. Together, they signed several key agreements that laid the groundwork for a new era of cooperation between their nations, including the 1990 Chemical Weapons Accord and Strategic Arms Reduction Treaties in 1991, the first in the series of START treaties. Later, he also signed START II with Boris Yeltsin in Moscow on January 3, 1993. Bush provided economic assistance to Russia and former Soviet republics, including $1 billion in agricultural credits to address food shortages. This aid was crucial in helping these newly independent states stabilize their economies and transition to market-based systems. His efforts aimed at a stable and democratic Russia. Bush believed that a democratic Russia would be a cornerstone of global peace and security. Bush's foreign policy during this period was marked by a commitment to multilateralism and international cooperation. He worked tirelessly to build alliances and strengthen existing ones, understanding that global challenges required collective action. Under his leadership, NATO expanded eastward beyond the Cold War border, adapting to the new geopolitical realities. Operation Desert Storm, a defining moment in the Persian Gulf. This military campaign marked a pivotal moment in modern history, showcasing the might and coordination of international forces. On August 2, 1990, Saddam Hussein's Iraqi forces invade Kuwait. Saddam wanted to erase Iraq's massive debt. Iraq had largely financed its 1980 to 1988 war with Iran through loans and owed some $37 billion to Gulf creditors by 1990. He believed Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, and the United Arab Emirates owed him some gratitude for keeping radicalism at bay. He also accused Kuwait of sneakily slant drilling and extracting oil from Iraqi oil wells. Then the horror ensued. The world watched in shock as the small, oil-rich nation was overrun by Iraq's powerful military of 140,000 Iraqi troops and 18,000 tanks, leading to a crisis that demanded immediate attention. George H.W. Bush acts swiftly, forging an international coalition. He understood the gravity of the situation and the need for a united global response to this act of aggression. Bush condemns Hussein's aggression and rallies the international community. His speeches at the United Nations and various press conferences emphasized the importance of standing against tyranny and protecting global stability. Over 30 countries joined the U.S.-led coalition. Nations from around the world contributed troops, resources, and support, demonstrating unprecedented international solidarity. Operation Desert Storm begins in January 1991 with a massive air assault. The skies over Iraq and Kuwait were filled with the roar of fighter jets, marking the start of a relentless campaign to weaken Iraqi defenses. The coalition quickly gains air superiority, crippling Iraq's military. Precision airstrikes targeted key military installations, communication centers, and supply lines, effectively paralyzing Hussein's forces. In February 1991, a ground offensive liberates Kuwait within 100 hours. The swift and decisive ground campaign saw coalition forces pushing Iraqi troops out of Kuwait, leading to jubilant celebrations among the liberated Kuwaiti people. Operation Desert Storm is a resounding military victory. The success of the operation not only restored Kuwait's sovereignty, but also sent a clear message about the consequences of aggression. It demonstrates the power of American leadership in multilateral action. The operation highlighted the effectiveness of international cooperation and the strength of alliances in maintaining global peace and security. Navigating the Americas, from NAFTA to Panama. George H.W. Bush's foreign policy extended to Latin America. He sought to strengthen ties and promote democracy and stability. Bush's signature achievement was the negotiation of NAFTA, North American Free Trade Agreement. NAFTA boosted economic growth and strengthened North American ties. In contrast, Bush's invasion of Panama in 1989 was controversial. Operation Just Cause ousted dictator Manuel Noriega. The invasion was successful but resulted in civilian casualties. It drew criticism from some Latin American leaders. The Asian theater balancing engagement and tensions. The Asia-Pacific region presented challenges and opportunities. Bush sought to balance engagement with China and alliances with Japan and South Korea. Bush condemned China's crackdown on pro-democracy protesters in Tiananmen Square. He imposed sanctions and suspended high-level contacts. Bush's relations with Japan were strained by trade tensions. He pressed Japan to open its markets while maintaining the U.S.-Japan alliance. Bush's approach balanced economic interests with strategic considerations. His handling of the region reflected his pragmatic foreign policy. The Bush Doctrine, a framework for a post-Cold War world. This doctrine was a significant shift in American foreign policy, reflecting the new realities of a world no longer divided by the Iron Curtain. The end of the Cold War created new opportunities and challenges. The collapse of the Soviet Union marked the end of a bipolar world, ushering in an era of American preeminence. The United States emerged as the world's sole superpower. This newfound status brought with it the responsibility to shape global affairs and promote democratic values. Bush recognized the need for a new framework for American foreign policy. He understood that the strategies of the Cold War era were no longer applicable in this new global landscape. The Bush Doctrine emphasized American leadership and multilateralism. It was a call for the United States to work with allies and international institutions to address global challenges. Bush believed the U.S. had a unique responsibility to lead the world. He saw America as a beacon of freedom and democracy, capable of guiding other nations towards peace and prosperity. He rejected a multipolar world and envisioned U.S. dominance. Bush was convinced that a strong and assertive America was essential for global stability. The Bush Doctrine emphasized working through international institutions. Bush believed that organizations like the United Nations and NATO were crucial for maintaining global order. Bush recognized the importance of building coalitions and partnerships. He knew that the challenges of the post-Cold War world required collective action and cooperation. his approach aimed at maintaining peace and stability. By promoting diplomacy and international collaboration, Bush sought to create a safer and more secure world for future generations. The power of pragmatism. Bush's enduring impact on American foreign policy. Bush's foreign policy legacy is often overshadowed by dramatic events. Bush's handling of the Soviet Union's collapse showcased his pragmatism. He navigated the end of the Cold War with a steady hand. He worked constructively with Soviet leader Mikhail Gorbachev. Bush assembled an international coalition to liberate Kuwait. He believed in working through international institutions. His legacy is complex, shaped by World War II and the Cold War. Bush's efforts demonstrated the effectiveness of multilateral action. His presidency left an enduring mark on the world. Bush's example of leadership remains relevant in a world of new challenges. If you enjoyed this deep dive into George H.W. Bush's legacy, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Leave a comment below with your thoughts and suggest new topics for us to explore. Thank you for watching.